Question number 10, Fletcher Tabuteau.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister of Finance, what is the current value of the New Zealand Super Fund?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, as at the 31st of August 2015, the value of the New Zealand Super Fund is $28.8 billion.
Point of order, Mr Speaker.
Point of order, Fletcher Tabuteau.
I have information prepared by the Parliamentary Library which contradicts that information.
But that's not a point of order. If the member if the member seeks leave to table, I consider it.
May I please table information prepared by the Parliamentary Library?
Order. On this occasion, I'll allow the member to table the information.
Thank you.
Now, have further supplementaries?
Yes, supplementary, sir.
Oh, sorry. Yes, leave was sought. Is there any objection to that being tabled? There is not. It can be tabled. Supplementary question, Fletcher Tabuteau.
Is he aware that if he had continued capital contributions to the New Zealand Super Fund, it would now be worth $47.8 billion, $18.2 billion more than it is now?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, in retrospect, that's possible. It's also possible that if we'd trebled the contributions, it would be worth over $100 billion. And if we could have trebled them, why couldn't we borrowed 10 times the required contribution, and then it may have been worth over $1,000 billion. I mean, there's just no end to that calculation, and we don't waste our time on it.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Fletcher Tabuteau.
Is the Minister not ashamed that $14.5 billion of capital contributions made to the New Zealand Superannuation Fund, National is responsible for less than 2% of that? If not, why not?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, in answer to the member's first question, no. And the reason is simply this. If the Super Fund was set up with the intention that surplus cash, of which there was quite a lot actually in the mid-2000s, would be paid into it, in that case mainly to protect it from the Labor Party caucus. But actually we don't have surplus cash. Even the $400 million surplus yesterday doesn't actually give us surplus cash to put into the fund.
Supplementary question, Fletcher Tabuteau.
Thank you, sir. What does he believe is better for the country? Potentially borrowing to pay for $1.5 billion worth of tax cuts in an election year, or putting that money into the super fund, which would return $100 million in interest by 2020?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, the tax package was fiscally neutral, in fact probably fiscally positive actually. And with respect to the second issue, I mean, this government simply doesn't believe that it's prudent to borrow money to invest in overseas share markets. Households don't do it, very few businesses do it except under particular circumstances, and we don't intend to do it. And it's easy to say looking back when the super fund has made very high returns, but the likelihood is over its lifetime, half the time it's going to make very low or negative returns. And in that case, a member would be asking a different question. Why did the government borrow money and go and invest it in the crazy casino of offshore equity markets full of corrupt Chinese?
That's a bit unfair, isn't it? Supplementary.
Order. 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 The member wants to ask a supplementary. I'd ask that Ron Mark can control himself. Supplementary question, Fletcher Tabuteau.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker.
Order. I won't be calling for order again. I'm asking Fletcher Tabuteau to ask his supplementary question. I will not put up with the level of interjections coming from my left. Fletcher Tabuteau.
Thank you, sir. Would the Minister prefer to generate a surplus to A, pay down our very high nominal net debt, B, restart contributions to the neglected super fund, or C, pay $1.5 billion for an election year bribe?
Oh, let's go for C.
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, I'm pleased to see the member understands two of our fiscal objectives, and that is to pay down debt and start contributions to the super fund. And the government has allowed for the opportunity for moderate tax reductions, and we remain fixed to that policy.
Question number 11,